The 2K Sports pregame show, sponsored by Kia.
With Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Aristotle, Dr. Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight's broadcast will feature the Denver Nuggets as they go up against the Miami Heat. Looking at Miami, they've played well of late, winning 5 of their last 6 games. Tonight, an opportunity to continue that trend. And Shaq, we're coming up to the halfway point of the season. Some teams finally getting into a groove after a somewhat shaky start.
Yeah, every year is different. Sometimes it takes a little longer to figure out. But what's most important is you get hot at the right time.
Oh, that's right. I agree with that. And you have to have a lot of experience on your team. And those guys know how to pace themselves. And you can just kind of relax. Quality veterans won't allow the season to be a sprint. It's a marathon.
Tip-off coming up shortly. It's time to send it to Kevin Harlan for the call.
Greetings, everyone. Glad to have you here with us on this Wednesday night edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Brett Barry and Greg Anthony. We've got David Aldridge reporting from the sideline. With the Denver Nuggets, they won their last contest, that game against the Suns in Phoenix. And that was a serious blowout. Not too many people can claim that they saw that coming.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the stars that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Well, how much more does it mean that they did this on the road? Some tired legs on their starters led to more minutes for the bench, and that turned out to be a big blessing in disguise.
Now here's Barton. Back to Fareed. Lots of room. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Fareed's got the opening bucket of the night here for Denver.
Well, Will the Thrill Barton is improved, and I'll tell you why, Kevin. He put the time in working tirelessly on that shot. Became a legitimate three-point threat from the wing and saw his point totals soar.
So here's Miami's starting group. They've got Whiteside. Dragic is out there with Dion Waiters. Then it's Johnson, and it's Babbitt in at the power forward position.
Well, you have got to box out the Manimal on the glass. If not, he'll eat you alive like he did there with the offensive rebound and putback.
Now here's Dragic, coming off a stellar performance against Boston. And that one drops for him. Thinking about Barton now with his ability, Brent, to stretch a defense, it opens up a lot of lanes for himself and his teammates.
Well, he's always known how to attack the rim, and now it's about his decision-making to do one of two things: get in there or stop short for the pull-up jumper. He's showing that now.
And Fareed pitched to Mudia. They get the rebound. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. And here's Miami. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
They drew a lot of fouls in that game, guys, and that was the one area that really stood out when you watched it.
And it wasn't just the points that they got at the line that helped their cause. It was the foul trouble on the other side that went along with it. Several players stranded on the bench for long stretches, and the coach having to re-strategize.
Now here's Moutier. His last outing, he had 8 points. Barton kicks to Jokic. And it's the Heat on the break. Here's Johnson. Great pass to set up the lay-in. It's a tie ball game.
Well, that fast break went according to plan.
If these guys are focused on making a push with the basketball, they can be very good.
Now, here's Jokic. He had 16 points in the win against Phoenix.
And he also controlled the backboard as well. I mean, he really did a terrific job.
And so here is Miami after Gallinari missed from long range.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. And with Gallinari, he is a guy who, if he gets a few to drop early, it does wonders for his game. His confidence build, it soars, in fact, and he just feeds off his own energy to put up big numbers.
Well, there's sometimes those games where Gallinari has those moments and gets that look. He'll start to pull up from deep and drain shots and start looking at the crowd, firing up his teammates. And once he gets that confidence going, he'll start backing down smaller defenders and become a complete offensive player. So much talk about Gallinari and his size and skill as a shooter, but one of the big reasons why his game can expand is the fact that he can attack the rim and do it more frequently. Shows no fear when he goes inside to try and find his way to the free throw line.
And he makes the first but misses the second. And Brent, you mentioned the fouls that Gallinari draws. He's nearly double the amount of free throw attempts he gets now compared to the early part of his career.
I believe that to be a conscious decision from Danilo to not settle for the three-point ball. And again, Kevin, after years in the league, you find ways where you can be effective as a scorer. That doesn't mean just shooting threes. It means getting to the free throw line.
And stolen by Whiteside. And it's the Heat on the break. Here's Babbitt. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Babbitt's got his first points of the night. The Nuggets trail. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Moutier kicks to Fareed. And again, Denver no good.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look. Just doing the job on the backboard.
Barton drives in. A second chance effort. And it's blocked by Whiteside.
As soon as Whiteside positions himself, he just spikes that one away. It's like he's playing beach volleyball.
Took the opportunity when he saw it. Waiters got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. The Nuggets trail by 4. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Now here's Moutier. Defense right on him. Pass to Jokic. 6 to shoot. The basket good off the assist from Moutier. Jokic has got his first points of the game.
Just a great attack mentality. Got right through the defense to finish strong inside.
Right side a screen. That's a 2 from Babbitt. Not enough on that one as it misses.
And honestly, not real happy with the shot selection on that one.
Yeah, you want your guys to attack with confidence, but that's just a bad look.
Here's Johnson. He's off on that one. Some solid defense from Fareed. Here's Moutier. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. Brent, you can just see the explosiveness ooze out of Moutier when he attacks a defender.
Well, Moutier can create space for himself just about at any time, and he does it with effortless movement. He cuts very well for a guard as tall as he is. So the body control and that athleticism, those are good foundations for an offensive player waiting to explode.
And the first one at the line is good. And so he hits both. And with the playoffs on the horizon, it's a completely different type of game.
Well, the difference, Kevin, really is the fact that you're able to dig so much deeper into what a team does and how effective they are, and then be able to take those things away. That is the test during the playoffs that everybody's up against. Is your next best good enough against our next best?
And even just small moves can make such a difference.
Little tiny adjustments and wrinkles in some of the things that you do can really throw off a team with the way that they're preparing for you and what you're about to bring in terms of the storm the playoffs are. Well, Dragic is very good with the basketball, but it seems like he's even better after he gets pressured. He does not dribble himself all that often into situations he can't find his way out of, either with the bounce or with the pass.
He doesn't get the second one. And with Dragic and his lack of turnovers, Brent, it's one of the reasons why he can play both guard positions with ease.
Well, I like how he can be aggressive, yet still play under control. That's when he's at his best. When the floor opens up and the Dragon has some space, he can light you on fire.
Agreed.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Perimeter jumper from Gallo, always a strong suit, continues to get better.
Miami trailing. Here's Waiters. He had a big outing in that Celtics game as well. Barton with some nice D.
He just doesn't seem to be himself shooting the ball right now, guys. Just looks a tad bit uneasy, and that's affecting the result.
Here's Jokic. That one drops, and he's now 2 for 5.
And without the pick from Fareed, I don't think that's going to happen. The way he sacrifices his body, commendable there.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. You watch Jokic play, and you can see why so many are high on his ability to be a star someday. Brent has all the tools, is a legit 7-footer, and he moves with such ease.
Yeah, Jokic has a nice face-up game and has lateral movement as a big, which is quite impressive. Sense of spacing with his passing is pretty good. His timing on defense is good. Be interesting to see how he develops in the next couple seasons.
A chance here to assess what parts of the floor the attempts have been coming from as we look at the shot chart for the Nuggets.
And you see not a lot of corner threes. The defense doing a good job of closing out and denying those shorter distance triples. That's what the smart teams have to do.
The Heat trail by 4. Dragic kicks to Babbitt. Here's the screen. There's the feed to Waiters. Misses off the right iron.
And his shot just doesn't seem to be synced up right now. Here's hoping he finds it soon because his team is really going to need that production tonight.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Right side, the pass to Waiters. And Kenneth Fareed pulls it down. Fareed's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. Gallinari, and taken away by Johnson. Shoots from the high post. Barton with the rebound.
Yeah, so far he has not had his usual effort in this one, and it's really hurting the team.
The 3. They get it back, and Fareed kicks to Jokic. This is his first free throw of the game.
And he is a cool customer at the line, guys. You've got to be when you're shooting 84% on the season.
Shoot 2.
First one falls for him.
And for the Heat last season, they seem to have a very defensive approach to how it is that they wanted to play. Challenged every shot, did well on their rotations, and they definitely limited their opponents' scoring by slowing down the pace of the game.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. Terrell Arthur, he's checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Chandler comes in for Gallinari. Beasley's checked in for Barton. And Murray's subbed in for Emmanuel Mudiay. The Heat trail by 6. They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Reed a screen. Here's Johnson. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Johnson's got his first 2 points of the night. As you said, the Heat pride themselves on their defensiveness and one of the best teams in the league, Brent, in opposing points per game.
Well, it shows you just how great a unit they are defensively, but you can't just have athleticism and tenacity on the defensive end. You have to have great communication on the back line, and I think that's where the credit to the coaching staff has to go. They've gotten these guys to talk to each other on that end of the floor, and that's reaping some huge dividends.
The Nuggets shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight.
This season, in general, has not been kind to them at the free throw line. Only about 71%.
The first one falls. Plumlee is checked in for Nikola Jokic. Easily hits them both. And so many teams now playing drive and kick offense. Dribble penetration is at a premium. And some players use raw speed. Others just have that feel. What makes, in your opinion, a great slasher?
I think a slasher who really is good at catching the defense off stride, Kevin, is one that just has tremendous timing. A guy that understands his teammate and when it is that his teammate is going to recognize where it is on the floor that he's going to be and when it is that he needs the ball in order to be an effective scorer.
Sometimes without any words, no communication, just a look or just a feel.
Just a quick glance and, you know, they'll do that 2-point dance and all of a sudden that possession's over.
Bang. Here's Beasley. The Heat getting the bucket. Goes up the baseline. Jump shot is good. And the Nuggets lead by 6. Miami's gone 1 of 5 from downtown in the first quarter. Points out there have been hard to come by. Pass to Magruder. Reed kicks to McRoberts. Good ball movement here by the Heat. Off target from outside.
Guys, I cannot believe he missed that one. And I bet he can't either.
Murray with it. An 11-point game for him in the win against Phoenix. Beasley dishes to Plumlee. And it's slammed in by Plumlee.
Well, don't get surprised by that burst from Plumlee. He crashes in for the rebound, has the athleticism, and finishes with authority.
Now, here's Richardson. 8 points his last outing. Pass to Johnson. Reed is screen. Here's Magruder. He's covered by Murray. McRoberts. That 3 off the mark. The Nuggets leading by 8.
Wow, and that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying to get back into a game like this.
Ouch, Greg, that is definitely an emphasis jam. A big apostrophe or exclamation point, maybe even a question mark. And that last replay courtesy of Kia. Mason Plumlee, 6'11", very athletic, but despite that, he's not a big-time rim protector.
No, but he is very mobile, and if he can get his body in front of guys who are attacking the rim, he can certainly be a disturbance in there. You ask the scouts, he's improved quite a bit defensively over the past couple seasons.
Get a moment now to view the league's stingiest defenses. The Heat in second.
This is a team that takes pride on the defensive side of the floor. I mean, they play hard and they play together. They are a tough group to score on.
The Heat trail by 10. Now Johnson. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. And it goes down 2 points.
You've got to play up on McRoberts as soon as he gets the ball because he hits that kind of shot on a routine basis.
Now here's Beasley. Plumlee with the screen. Now the dish to Chandler. And taken away by Johnson. And it's the Heat on the break. Puts it up from 15. The second effort. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. We'll take a look at the Warriors. They like where they stand right now, perched in that topmost position. And, of course, the Nuggets, quite a few spots down the ladder right now.
And you know, for the Nuggets, they've fallen all too quickly down to that spot at the bottom of the standings. If any team needed a bright start, it was them.
Yeah, with the quality of a lot of teams they're now staring up at, it's going to be difficult for them to bounce back from this kind of start and make a huge climb up the standings.
And he makes the first.
Well, because he's lefty, you have to say crafty. That's kind of written in the books, Kevin. But Josh McRoberts is that. Plays with a lot of energy and a great role player his entire career who gets out and sparks his teammates with his playmaking ability.
He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line. And as for McRoberts, he is great in that energy off the bench roll, Brent. He leaves everything out there on the floor.
Well, sometimes his emotions can get him a bit behind the eight ball during a game, but you take the good with the bad. Overall, he's a very, very good passer, a reluctant shooter, but definitely a guy you want to play with who'll set you up for a good look.
The Heat trail by 7. Johnson outside. There's the pass to Reed. Fades back. Bounces high off the rim and drops.
Just couldn't get a hand in the face on that one.
And this is where genetics may come into play, using that height, especially to get off the mid-range jumper.
Now here's Plumlee. He's definitely a factor in their offense, averaging 12 points a game. 1:09 left in the first quarter of the game. That shot, no good. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, I was able to catch up with Eric Spoelstra a few minutes ago. It's the first matchup of the season against this team, and he knows that they have great shot blocking. But he did say we've got to remain aggressive and continue to attack. Put the bigs in high pick-and-roll situations and shoot the jumper with confidence. They feel that's the key, Kevin.
Thanks for getting back to us on that report, David. Guys?
You know, they obviously spent the brunt of their time preparing for this game by coming up with ways to attack that vaunted defense.
Yeah, and it's really a challenge to try and find holes, gaps, and to score some points. So they give nothing to you that's going to be easy.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. The Nuggets leading by 7. Murray kicks to Beasley. Dishes to Murray. Beyond the arc. And so the first quarter is in the books. Nuggets ahead, up 7. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver. We're back in a moment. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game.
I play the game how it's supposed to be played. I play offense, I play defense, I rebound, steals, blocks. You know, I'm pretty much that guy who likes to work hard and don't want anybody to beat him.
That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
And Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And when you consider how Denver is doing, guys, what are your thoughts?
They seem to be a step slower, and that's one reason why they've been able to own the rebounding edge.
Focusing on the interior, blocking out, maintaining position. That's glass cleaning 101.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So on the floor for Denver, we've got Will Barton, Wilson Chandler out there with Arthur. Then there's Murray, and it's Plumlee in at the 5 spot. Catching up on the changes for Denver. Kenneth Faried, he's checked in for Arthur. Gallinari comes in for Wilson Chandler. And Emmanuel Mudiay subbed in for Murray. And Gallinari kicks to Barton. Misses the 3. The Heat trail by 7. Johnson with it. Now guarded by Fareed. Dragic with a wide open look. Takes a big high bounce and goes in. Dragic has got the opening field goal of the second quarter for the Heat. The Nuggets shooting just 33%, struggling to get good looks. Mudiay kicks to Gallinari. Shoot from the right block. Rebound by the Heat. And going against Denver, their first meeting of the season.
And last season, they made short work of this club. 2 games, 2 wins.
Sort of representative of how they each finished the season. One a playoff team, the other on the outside looking in. I think things may play out the same way this year, too.
For Miami, they've gotten off to a rough start here in the second quarter, going just 1 for 5. Nice to see Mike Malone back out there on the sideline. He left Sacramento in kind of an odd situation, to say the least, but he is showing he is a solid coach in the NBA.
You know that saying, Kevin, where things work out as they should? For Mike Malone, I think the Denver Nuggets is exactly where he should be. He did a tremendous job in Sacramento, especially getting through to DeMarcus Cousins, and it was a bit shocking that he was removed from that position. But Denver swiping him up, moving forward, and now they have a coach for their future.
Here's Waiters, following the basket by Kenneth Fareed. Got a hand on it. And here we go, fast break. Mudiay's got it. Here's Fareed. Miami grabs the miss. Whiteside's got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. And that one, good.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
The Nuggets leading by 3. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. Kicks to Barton. Stolen by Waiters. There's Dragic with the 3. Plumlee with the rebound. Plumlee's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Fareed outside. Mudiay with the ball. Now guarded by Dragic. Pocket 6. Mudiay passes to Fareed. And here's Gallinari outside. And again, Denver no good.
And just not able to find the target from 3-point range here in the second quarter, although he did knock down one in the first.
One-on-one fast break. And that one's good. Barton.
If there's a skill set you like your point guard to have, that's exceptional court vision. Mudiay shows it off there with that assist.
Down low, and the jam by Whiteside.
Oh, an aggressive move and fantastic finish.
Trying to send a message with that slam, I think. Mudiay dishes to Fareed. Back to Mudiay. The shot goes in. First of the night. He's 1 for 3 to start the game. The Heat trail by 5. Dragic kicks to Whiteside. And it's Waiters atop the key. And stolen by Barton. Over in the corner, Mudiay. Second chance shot, Plumlee. And it's slammed in by Plumlee.
Yeah, that's what he's doing best right now. Plumlee loves to convert as close to the rim as possible.
The Heat have gone 4 of 10 in the second quarter from the field. Right side a screen. And here's Dragic. He's been a reliable scorer for him as he's averaging up over 13 points a game. It's good. Waiters got 5 now.
And they've repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid off.
Barton, no luck.
It has to be frustrated out there right now. His teammates are really picking up the slack for a lackluster offensive night.
And the foul on Will Barton. That is his first foul of the game. Denver making a switch here. Jokic is checked in. Here's Babbitt. Good, and it's Johnson with the assist that time. Johnson's got 3 assists now in this one.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Here's Dragic. Finished off the break. He's got 5.
Well, Dragic was sprinting down the floor with the ball. The right decision right there was go all the way to the rim. That's what he did.
Here's Moutier. Another shot. Fareed the pass to Barton. Gallinari against Johnson. Moutier kicks to Jokic. Shoots a fader. Knocked loose.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
Here's Waiters. He's got 5. This one for 3. Drills it from outside. Waiters got 5 points now in the quarter.
And just a great second quarter for them after such a difficult first, bringing that field goal percentage up from below 30 and now with the lead.
Now here's Gallinari. He picked up 24 points in their last one against the Suns in Phoenix.
And he's really mastered the catch and shoot as defenses try to close out. Hard to guard. I think the first time you saw Kenneth Fareed, you knew he was going to be one of those guys as a special undersized rebounder. Great on the offensive glass, great instincts to track down loose balls, and relentless pursuit.
His shot's just, it's not there right now. With his team leading, perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
Feeds to Waiters. Moutier with the ball. He averages more than 12 points a game. That's some dependable production. And Fareed is a gifted rebounder, as you said, Brent, one of the few active players to record over 25 rebounds in a single game.
Well, he could also thank his teammates for missing a lot of shots, Kevin, but I jest. His rebounds and activity really are important for his team, and they feed off of that energy. You're playing a long NBA season, Kevin. Sometimes you need a spark plug, a guy out there who's going to hop around a little bit and get you going. Kenneth Fareed does that for the Nuggets.
And the first one drops. A different look for Denver. Wilson Chandler's checked in for Gallinari for Barton. And Murray's subbed in for Emmanuel Moutier. All free throws good from Kenneth Fareed. And we're seeing less post play now than we have in the past. But big men, Brent, who know when and where to cut to the rim, are still finding plenty of opportunities to score.
Well, I think about a guy like Ed Davis in Portland, who's a great slasher.
Good example.
Long arms, in the right spot at the right time, and cleaning up misses from perimeter players who are coming in and trying attempts around the basket. The idea, Kevin, is simply this. If you play with a guy with a back to the basket, and he's not drawing double teams, what he's doing for you is getting in the way. And so coaches have moved off the post-up game in the league.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, the league and NBA teams have become much more aware of protecting players' health, and they're finding out that rest and sleep are a huge part of that. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr said medicine and science have improved, and thought processes do as well. He said in the old days, guys played 48 minutes. Well, we've made advances. We don't go backwards with this stuff. We go forwards. And guys, that's why they want their players off their feet as much as possible.
Good report, DA. Thank you. And the second free throw, good. And you think about the Nuggets over the years, a lot of great wing players, Brent, for this franchise. Current roster is very heavy with wing players right now, but they've had stars like Melo and Iguodala in the recent past.
Historically, the Nuggets have had some great small forwards. Think about Alex English playing in the 80s, probably the best Nugget of all time, and David Thompson, another great Nugget from the past.
Clock at 2, and the shot clock expires. 24-second violation. And now the 2K leaderboard, a list of the teams that have rebounded the ball tremendously over the last 10 games. The Nuggets, number 1.
What a show of strength in terms of rebounding. I mean, they've really controlled the glass here of late, playing with some extreme physicality.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Nuggets.
Yeah, it's got to be concerned with all the missed shots here, and every team goes through cold streaks. You just got to figure out a way to stay productive.
You just don't want to get to a point where you're forcing too much, not just letting the opportunities come within the flow of your offense.
And checking out the stats for Jokic. The last 10 or so games, he has been remarkable. 8th in rebounding. And with a top 20 ranking in field goal percentage, you put the ball in his hands, and he converts at a remarkable rate.
Denver leading by 4. Now here's Murray. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
Here's Richardson. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. Denver's gotten into trouble with the 3 ball in the second quarter, only hitting 1 of 5 attempts. Fires the 3. It's deflected, but he gets it back. Now Murray. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game.
I don't know what happened there. That was an easy 2 points that he just threw away.
Pass to Johnson. In the corner, it's McRoberts. That's in there. Johnson with the assist. McRoberts has got 6.
Nice to see Josh McRoberts step into the outside shot, proving once again that he really can knock it down.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing.
And you talk about a scorer who can just get red hot. Jamal Murray is that guy. Once he hits a few from deep, he just gets in his groove and can pick apart a defense. Will attack the rim and mix it up on offense if the D starts to overplay his jump shot.
And he makes the first. And with Murray, even in his short college career at Kentucky, he has shown that he can absolutely take over a game with his offense.
Yeah, there were a few games for him with the Wildcats where he just looked to be playing against fifth graders the way he was scoring. Can still get cold from the outside and struggle like anyone else, but when he is on, he is a force of nature on the offensive end.
Man among boys, you're right, G.A. Now, here's Richardson. He gives his team some nice contributions, averaging a bit over 10 points a game. Johnson attacking. A picture-perfect screenplay, and the jumper's good. Johnson's got his second bucket of the night.
Yeah, not a perfectly set screen there, but got him just enough room to get that shot off.
Beasley kicks to Jokic. Here's Murray. No good on the triple. And the foul called on Darrell Arthur. That's his first foul. Miami's gone 2 of 4 from three-point range so far in the second quarter. Now the feed to McRoberts. Here's Reed. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
On the wing, Chandler. Misses the layup. Miami trailing. Richardson dishes to Johnson. Pass to Magruder. Trying his luck deep. That one's not going to go. Now the Nuggets take it the other way. They've led by as much as 10. Following this one, they get to host the Rockets. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Especially in a game that is this close, every possession counting. That was just one side wanting it more than the other.
Reed. And it's Jokic with the rebound. Jokic has got rebound number 5 here tonight. Beasley kicks to Chandler. The Nuggets moving the ball around. Murray, the pass to Beasley. He dishes it to Murray. A 3-ball. And Beasley gets it to go on the assist by Murray. Murray's got 3 assists tonight.
And we've seen this offense step back into three-point land a little bit more in this quarter.
Now here's Johnson. He feeds it to Reed. From about 16. And the shot no good, a bit short. Denver leading by 6. Chandler kicks to Jokic. His 5th miss. Out 2 for 7 from the floor. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Reed a screen. Here's McRoberts. It's hauled in by the Nuggets. Jokic has got 6 rebounds here tonight. And here's Richardson. He kicks it to Reed. And again, it's the Heat missing.
Man, he's just pulled a Harry Houdini in this quarter. He's completely disappeared.
And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Well, Arthur usually on the outside finds his way inside and then handles himself down low.
A look here at Darrell Arthur. Ever since he came into the NBA, he's found his way into the rotation of the team. Brent, he just knows how to make an impact when he's out on the floor.
Well, I think it's pretty much the consistency that he gives you, Kevin, on both the offensive and defensive ends. Nothing spectacular, good positional defender, and then obviously that range for a big man, certainly an attribute.
Terrific effort on that shot. I mean, he's given up a lot of inches in that mismatch.
And that shows once again that craftiness and body positioning can overcome just someone's sheer size.
Now here's Arthur. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Suns in Phoenix. Chandler kicks to Murray. Jokic with the screen on Johnson. Excellent use of the screen that time. Murray's got 4 points this quarter.
You got to feel comfortable when Murray is working the pick and roll. His shooting, speed, and passing all are next level.
And so that's the end of the first half. The Nuggets on top as they wrap up the second quarter with a huge surge, an 18-7 run. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Coach, what has to happen to pull out the win?
Well, we have to play through some of the tough times, okay, whether it's a missed call or whether missed shots. This is a passionate game, and we got to stay the course.
We'll see what happens. Thanks, Bo. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter started.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. This is the halftime show on 2K Sports. After 2 quarters, it's Denver out in front. They have a 9-point lead. Your opinion, Shaq?
I don't think anyone expected to see such a number from the bench. You know, I'm impressed. It was what they needed, the jolt they needed, Ernie. Wow, I never knew their bench. Matter of fact, I don't even know any of their players coming off the bench. Man, keep going, bench guys.
Kenny, what'd you think about Miami?
Their inaccuracy from behind the arc was brutal. Shot selection, I didn't see any. The perimeter offense they're running, you could scrap that. They need to get back to the basics. Pound it inside, more pick and roll. Try to pick up some easy buckets in transition.
And that'll do it, as the second half is just about ready to begin. Back to Kevin Harlan. We will see you after the game. Hey, watch yourself.
Celebrating with the best.
Welcome back to Denver, everyone. Traffic coming in and out of downtown Denver on this lovely night in the Rockies. And we welcome you back to the NBA here on 2K Sports. And we're ready to get going once more. The players having a chance to have a short break and get some rest themselves and get refueled and hydrated with some Gatorade. More terrific basketball in store for us tonight. The Heat trail by 9. Here's who Eric Spoelstra is starting the second half with. Luke Babbitt is out there with Whiteside. Then it's Johnson. Then there's Dion Waiters. And it's Dragic in at the 1 spot.
Ever since Hassan Whiteside has got the starting nod, he's shooting 60% from the field. And it's close shots like that that he lives on.
Now here's Moutier. Barton outside. And it's blocked by Whiteside. Here's Babbitt with the 3. It's hauled in by the Nuggets. Gallinari's got 4 rebounds in this game. Here's Barton. And count it from 19 feet away. And the Nuggets lead by 9. And the Heat shooting at 36% on the night. They've got to step it up offensively. Now here's Dragic. Defended by Moutier. No good from Dragic. Here's the Nuggets now with the ball. 17-foot shot on the way. Jokic kicks to Fareed. Ball's knocked loose. Here's Babbitt. Barton with the rebound.
Yeah, the offense a bit out of sync here to begin the half. They just seem a step behind, 1 of 4 so far.
And it's good, 2 points.
Just a phenomenal effort from Fareed to absorb the hit and still get it over the defense. Just does a fantastic job of controlling his body.
Now here's Waiters. He's got 8. Here's Dragic. Here's the floater. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And certainly some credit to the Miami Heat coaching staff last year. Not many thought they'd be as strong as they were. A lot of questions about how the team would fare going into the season. And they surprised a lot of people in the media whose expectations were that Miami would fall off.
The Heat have made 2 and missed 2 at the line tonight. He's off on the first. And for the Heat, a lot of questions they had were mostly because nobody had seen the core group play together.
Yeah, you imagine the year before with Whiteside's injury and Bosch being out that they didn't get many minutes together on the floor. So for their coaching staff, really incomplete grade as they weren't able to get their roster on the floor at the same time. Still last year showed incredible moxie, got deep into the playoffs, and are ready for another run.
Here's Moutier. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
And here's a look at the numbers for Waiters. His last 10 games, he's averaging 15 points a game, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. And those numbers, solid, not spectacular, and sometimes what you see is what you get.
Babbitt kicks to Dragic. Whiteside inside. He's against Jokic.
A great job by Whiteside there to get himself to the free throw line so he could knock that one down. I mean, there's no doubt that every offense thinks about Hassan Whiteside and what he can do to you on the defensive end of the floor. He bothers so many shots with his height and his length. His timing to go up and swat shots away is just unprecedented. Nice to have a big man in the league that does things like that on that end of the floor.
And he can't hit the second. And thinking again on Whiteside, Brent, that is what sticks out to me. His ability to time up blocks with his height is something you very rarely see.
Well, the one thing, Kevin, he does so well is the long arms. He keeps them down and then extends them as quick as possible to get to the ball. And I think that offensive players don't realize he's got a chance to get to him. But that's why he's one of the league leaders in block shots.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
And the Heat call time here.
Yeah, it's got to be concerned with all the missed shots here. And every team goes through cold streaks. You just got to figure out a way to stay productive.
You just don't want to get to a point where you're forcing too much, not just letting the opportunities come within the flow of your offense. And I do like the way Moutier plays, but the big area that he needs to improve upon is his offensive efficiency. He just shot very poorly across the board as a rookie, and part of that was just missing wide open shots, but some of that has to do with his shot selection.
And a look at the top three-point shooting small forwards this season in the NBA. Every wingman should have that shot in his arsenal, and these guys certainly do. Number 1, Gallinari.
But he is a sharpshooter, guys. I mean, no doubt about that. Just who you want roaming on the wing and waiting for the defense to fall asleep.
And Waiters kicks to Johnson. Whiteside dishes to Babbitt. Kicks it out to Johnson. And they will call over the back on the play.
Yeah, a bit over eager right there. Left his feet too early.
Mason Plumlee's checked in for Denver. The Nuggets leading by 12. And now we're 3 minutes into the third quarter of play. Moutier kicks to Fareed. He tries for 3. And it's Gallinari missing. And for Moutier and his low shooting percentages, Brent, it will severely limit his development as a player if he doesn't fix that issue.
Well, they gave him tons of minutes, Kevin, so there's nothing like experience, but he can make plays and he has athleticism. It won't do him any good if defenders are just laying off of him, but he's got the next few years to really get down and dirty and work on his game.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
When you're playing from behind, you cannot let your opponent have things that are that easy, and that was easy.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Inside. It's hauled in by the Heat.
Now, nice work there to contest the finish inside.
The only way you're going to challenge him in that situation, you have to attack with more power.
Abbott, terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Abbott's got 8.
And even though he's been incredible from the field so far, his team still hasn't been able to get the edge in this one.
Barton, no luck. The Heat trail by 12. Poke loose. Outside Dragic. Waiters gets a wide open look. They grab their own miss. Babbitt's shot is off. They've been doing a great job of sharing the ball.
And guys, shot A comes to mind for me because right now that offense, it's a smooth operation.
Hard to believe that Kenneth Faried was taken 22nd in the draft class of 2011, and he's been a solid player ever since he came into the NBA.
Another one of those players, Kevin, you could classify as just because of his size he was overlooked, but his ability to muscle in and really outwork everybody makes up for that lack of size. Not your prototypical power forward, but he can hold his own.
That free throw good from Gallinari. And so he makes both from the line. And Brent, going back a few years to your formative playing days in high school, you played at one of the bigger powerhouse high schools in California. How did playing on such a team that had such high expectations at that early age help your skill level and your overall basketball development?
Well, going to De La Salle High School, if I really wanted success, I should have been a kicker because the football team was off the charts. But we did have great success in basketball, and I did watch my 2 older brothers play at the school, so I understood what the program was about, what kind of expectations there were from the coaches with regards to accountability.
I bet you would have been a pretty good wide receiver.
I might have been, at least for one play, until a linebacker or a cornerback would cut me in half.
Barry going deep. He's got the ball, and there he goes. He gets a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, the Miami Heat is still relevant in the East. The team made some excellent roster moves to bring in new talent after losing LeBron James to Cleveland a couple of years ago. Coach Spoelstra said, how many teams, if you lose the best player in the game, can have a compelling team 13 months later? You know, Kevin, in Miami, they don't stay down for long.
Thank you, D.A. A championship caliber organization from the top down.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Timeout called, the Heat.
Guard it.
And Mason Plumlee, one of the better finishers in the league, especially when he gets a little room for a launch pad. He gets explosive. His offensive game mostly limited to shots at the rim, so effective on the roll when he does make the screen.
And Plumlee still developing, Brent, his shooting touch. His free throw percentage, that's another area for improvement.
Yeah, a little in-between jumper for Mason Plumlee wouldn't hurt his offensive repertoire either. He's made impressive strides as a passer, though. That's one thing the coaches have remarked about. Inside making decisions for a big man for offensive continuity.
Here's what Denver's going with right now. Darrell Arthur, he's checked in for Kenneth Faried. Chandler comes in for Gallinari. And Murray subbed in for Moutier. And so here is Miami. They trail by 18. And the foul on Jamal Murray. That's his first foul. Josh Richardson's checked in for Dion Waiters. Passes it to Dragic. There's the dish to McRoberts. And that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist. Dragic has got 4 assists now tonight. Murray with it. To the middle. Oh, and here comes Dragic all alone. That one good for 2. Dragic has got 7.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Here's Chandler. Arthur passes to Plumlee, and it's slammed in by Plumlee.
Oh, you hear that sound? That's the flushing of the toilet right there.
Greg, a fierce two-hander. Now, here's Richardson. Up top, Dragic. To the right side. No one near Whiteside as he lets it go. And it's Miami with another.
Now, some guys have a hard time finding their teammates in those possessions. Dragic is always looking to dish to get it to the open man.
Murray kicks to Arthur. Barton outside. Back to Arthur. 6 on the shot clock. No good that time. And Miami the other way now. And the foul on Jamal Murray. That's foul number 2 for him. Ren, I think everyone would agree that NBA players now spend more time developing their strength and athleticism than in the past. Maybe Michael Jordan was the first to really popularize that. How would you approach it if you were coming into the league now?
Well, I think every player understands that when you improve the most, Kevin, it's during the offseason. So guys either ask other players in their area who it is that they're working with and try to get together so that they have some company while they're in the gym, or they find some trainers that are going to push the limits of their potential so that in the offseason they can come back next year bigger, better, and stronger for that season.
How can you play in the league now if you don't have a very comprehensive...
No way!
I mean, just beautiful.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
When you're playing from behind, you cannot let your opponent have things that are that easy. And that was easy.
And that replay sponsored by Kia, the Kia Slam Cam, giving us a great look at that one. The Heat trail by 14. Johnson outside. Now the pass to Reed. To the inside, Richardson, and he banks in the layup. Richardson's got his 2nd bucket of the night.
Well, that's one of his best attributes, is his passes hit guys in stride.
Barton dishes to Plumlee. Back to Barton, and Barton throws it down.
Well, you got to watch out when Barton leaves the floor, throwing the hammer down there.
Miami's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third, still 0 for 3. Johnson outside. Here's Reed. They get it again. Can't connect from short range. The Nuggets leading by 14. Arthur kicks to Plumlee. Chandler inside the line, not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down.
And the way that the league is changing, you have to respect the fact that Eric Spoelstra has changed along with it. He's had a lot of small ball during the big 3 years, and he's been able to recognize when it's advantageous to go small with his roster for quite some time.
Johnson's shot is off. Denver shooting well, 52% in the...
Oh, they are putting the hammer down. A huge lead right now.
Case tonight of a game where a team does everything right. Fluid offense, lockdown defense. It's the kind of game you wish you could play every night.
Three-pointer. Again, the miss by Johnson.
Not a whole lot going down for him at this point. He just can't buy a break.
Barton kicks to Arthur. A rebound by McRoberts.
You know what? Those are shots you just hate to miss when you get those kinds of bunnies on a possession.
For Miami, they have had a disappointing game so far from the line. Only 3 free throws made.
And they've been mediocre all season long, just about 72% from the line.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And he makes the first. Well, the Nuggets have been a force on the offensive glass for quite some time, and you know what, Brent? Last year was no different.
Well, interesting, Kevin, because in the modern game, a lot of teams shying away from sending multiple players into offensive rebound as it affects your transition defense and your ability to set up. So we'll see if that trend continues for the Nuggets, but they do have quick athletic guards that can punish you on the glass.
Now Murray. He has 6 to the middle, tries to save it. Trying to find Arthur, gets it to him. Shot clock at 6. Jokic passes to Chandler. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Well, the problem for the Nuggets last season was their defense. They had a hard time forcing their opponents to take bad shots. Active on the defensive end, but not quite enough force.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
And that one misses. And with the Nuggets, Brent, they could defend at the rim, right at the top in terms of block shots as a team, but that didn't translate into defensive success.
Well, the block shots are one thing, Kevin, but retaining possession after the block shot is really the most important part. So as much as Denver has the defensive presence around the rim, it's still about collecting those blocks and then turning over teams and getting possession for yourself. And the Heat making some trades last season to get underneath that luxury tax threshold. They reset the clock on the dreaded repeater tax, which absolutely hammers teams for being over the tax for consecutive years.
Johnson can't hit.
The inside just a bit too congested for him to get the usual shot he would have with rhythm.
Murray kicks to Beasley. From 12 feet out, Reed with the steal. Richardson against Beasley. Pass to Magruder. And McRoberts now top of the key. And again, it's the Heat missing. And Brent, as you look at how the Heat have moved to get under the cap, and even with the tax ramifications, they brought in Joe Johnson, it's become a big consideration for teams.
Well, there's no doubt that the penalty with regards to the tax doubling up and sometimes tripling up what it is that franchises will pay for going over that luxury threshold is affecting the decision-making of the general managers around the league. But this huge boost in salary cap space, Kevin, that's going to raise some eyebrows as well.
Beasley with a clean look. No good. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Nuggets lead by 14. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver, we're back in a moment. Head coach Eric Spoelstra mic'd up along the sideline. Let's check it out.
We're getting us out of stuff. Make hard cuts. Everything with force. Okay? Come on.
And there's Eric Spoelstra asking his guys to play with a little sharper mind, with a little more intense, with more vigor.
And simply put, it's about reaching another level of intensity. When they're attacking, that's when they're at their best.
Welcome back. 4th quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. Gallinari and Fareed, the duo at the forward. Beasley is out there with Emmanuel Mudiay. And it's Jokic in at the 5. That's the group on the floor for Denver.
Put that pass right on target. Way to get your teammates involved.
The Heat trail by 16. And Waiters kicks to Johnson. Whiteside dishes to Babbitt. Whiteside a screen. Rockets the pass to Waiters. 6 to shoot. For 3. And out of bounds as the Nuggets gain possession. Here's Moutier. Pass to Jokic. Back to Moutier. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Show of strength from Moutier there at the point guard position. Gets the shot up after getting hit. So an N1 opportunity on its way. Well, the Denver Nuggets franchise still mining for their first NBA title. Have had some very good teams, but have yet to make it to the finals. They did make it to the ABA finals back in '76. Still, these fans have yet to have a team win the West.
And Waiters kicks to Johnson. And Waiters has it in the corner. Off target from outside.
And he's not picking his spots out there right now, at least not well. He's forcing low percentage opportunities, and it's no surprise the frustration right there on his face.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Fareed. The Heat trail by 19. Whiteside, a screen on Beasley. Waiters against Beasley. Takes it from 10. And it falls over the rim and in. And that's now 10 points for Dion Waiters.
This is where Waiters can continue to improve his offensive game, draining the jumper with a hand in his face.
Moutier kicks to Gallinari. And another miss by Denver. Miami has gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. To the middle, here's Whiteside. And Kenneth Fareed pulls it down. Fareed's got his 16th rebound on the night. Fareed setting the pick for Gallinari. To the paint. Good work defensively by Whiteside.
Yeah, unfortunate there, guys. Just a poorly set screen, and he didn't want to sacrifice his body to spring open his teammate.
No good off the back of the rim. The Nuggets leading by 17. Gallinari outside. No good on that one. Great D that time from Johnson. And that's a foul called on Gallinari. That's his first foul. Will Barton, he's checked in for Beasley. The Heat have gone 1 of 5 from the field here in the fourth. A lot of misses, just the one make. Dragic dishes to Johnson. They set the pick. Here's Waiters. That one a little long.
Look, if they want any shot at winning this game, he has to be better out there.
Barton passes to Fareed. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Whiteside. And so he's picked up his final foul. And he will sit for the rest of this game. Reedy's checked in for the Heat. The first free throw is good. The odd fact for the Heat, they have a lot of left-handed players on their roster, Brent, enough to field a complete lineup. In fact, of softballs. They did so last season.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome to watch, and I'm just not sure how it is that guys play backwards, Kevin, as a right-handed player.
Both free throws good from Fareed. We're in the final quarter of play here, 3 minutes in. And here's Dragic. Johnson the screen. Waiters on the wing. Back to Dragic. Shot clock at 6. Up and in on the layup.
Well, we all know how confident Goran Dragic is when it comes to scoring inside. Nice shot selection there for him.
Here's Moutier. Screen by Fareed. Moutier kicks to Fareed. That's tipped. Babbitt dishes to Dragic. And it's Kenneth Fareed with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Here's Waiters. Gets the three-pointer to fall.
Yeah, you would think a coach might have talked to his defense about making the adjustment on him, but right now, he's just lighting him up.
Moutier, no good.
Yeah, I know the shot's been off just a smidge tonight, but he's contributed in other ways to help his team have the lead in this game so far.
I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Wasted no time on that one. 8 points for Will Barton.
Well, that's a smooth and silky J there from Will Barton. Really adding a lot to his game to be effective from the perimeter.
Dishes it to Reed. Waiters up top, takes a three. It's hauled in by the Nuggets. Jokic has got rebound number 11 for him here tonight. Moutier kicks to Jokic. Gallinari outside. Feeds to Moutier. He dishes it to Barton. 5 to shoot. Barton missing again. The Heat trail by 16. Johnson, a wide open look, and the three off target.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
Fareed, a screen on Dragic. Gallinari inside the three-point line. The basket good off the assist from Moutier.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Dragic, the pass to Waiters. The kick out to Dragic. Back to Waiters. Takes the three. And it's Jokic with the rebound. Jokic has got rebound number 12 here already in the game. Barton, no luck. The Heat trail by 18. Here's Reed. Barton with the rebound. Barton's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Moutier kicks to Barton. And it's Dion Waiters with the foul. That's his first foul. The Heat making a switch here. Mick Roberts is checked in. Moutier with the ball. And Moutier throws it down.
Sometimes smart to stay out of the way of Emmanuel Moutier.
Miami's gotten some tough luck from three-point range. In the fourth quarter, they've hit just 1 of 6 from deep. Tries to snap the cold streak. No good off the front iron.
Well, after an impressive first half, he's just not been able to get the room or get anything going here in the second.
Pass to Jokic. And it's going to be a 3-second call. And a rule change last season, Brent, in college basketball, allowing players longer to decide whether to go pro and even enable them to declare and then change their minds. I personally like that rule. What do you think?
I enjoyed that rule as well, Kevin. I mean, you're 18 years old, 19 years old, and you decide to do something and you can't take it back. I don't think that's a good lesson to teach the youth of America, and so I'm with the rule. I think one interesting thing that we could also look at is if a player comes out for the NBA draft and gets drafted and then wants to go back to school for another year with the team holding that player's rights.
We've seen that before in the old days.
Absolutely. Larry Bird is probably the guy we all point to, going back and playing his final year at Indiana State and then joining the Boston Celtics. That is something that I think the league is going to think about once again and maybe implement for the collegiate player.
He hits the second from the line. Well, one thing, Brent, with Dion Waiters is that when he is on, he is red hot. He's one of those players who will get single-digit points for a few weeks, then just explode for 25 or 30 points out of the blue.
Well, that sounds nice, Kevin, but most coaches are seeking consistency, and he's really not had that in the early stages of his career so far. So still trying to figure out his role, but he does bail out his team every now and again with those kind of scoring binges.
Now here's Dragic. Johnson outside. Outside Dragic. Just 5 to shoot. The Heat need to get a shot off. Here's Waiters. It's hauled in by the Nuggets. Barton's got his 5th rebound in this one. Kicks it to Moutier. And you often see players talking with an official after a call or a non-call. Were you ever able to make headway with the ref by talking to them after a play, whether you agreed, disagreed, or whatever?
Well, the biggest part about it, Kevin, it's all about your approach. So if you walk up to the referees and you're kind and you're courteous, they're going to listen to what it is that you have to say. So it's all about your timing and your approach with the officials to point out something that may be happening in the game or a trend that you see in the early part of the game, just to draw their attention to some of that action during the course of a period.
Did coaches always make players aware of who is officiating and what to look for?
I really never had a coach in a pregame meeting, Kevin, come in and mention the officials who were reffing that game that night. Never happened in my career.
Barton, no luck.
Now that's terrific defense at the rim. Got right in his path.
All instinctual because he knows where he needs to go and then force the opponent to do something about it.
There's the pick. Knocks it loose. Abbott, and that one is stuffed right through. And that's a double-double for him now. 10 points and 11 rebounds.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish. Gallinari passes to Jokic. And again, Denver no good. Here's Fareed. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, Fareed using minimal instincts there, getting the contact on shots like that.
The line for your Nuggets, Kevin Fareed. Taking 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. You know, Brent, injury is a part of the game, but the league is being proactive, creating research partnerships with major medical companies to look at reducing stress-related tendon issues, concussion research, all of it being, I think, now looked at by the NBA and the medical side of the league.
I love the fact, Kevin, that they're using modern-day technology, not just after it is that an athlete gets injured in order to perform a procedure medically to get him back on the floor sooner. Really what NBA teams are investing in is preventative medicine, being able to gauge what it is that players are putting themselves through, the stresses on their body, both mentally and physically, and being ahead of the curve with regards to making sure they prevent these injuries from even happening in the first place.
The science is amazing, isn't it?
Well, I was more of a math student, but yes, science is amazing, Kevin.
Yeah, and his shot selection, iffy at best tonight. A lot of forced, contested shots this game. He'll be lucky if he just gets a talking to here instead of a ticket to the bench.
And it's the Heat with the ball. Here's Magruder. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. Now when some things go wrong, Brent, with the team, you often hear about a players-only meeting. I'm sure you've been through a couple of those. What exactly goes on in those meetings?
It's always interesting the location of some of those meetings,
really?
Kevin, I can tell you. Yeah, depending on if you're at home or if you're on the road. You're going to cram 14 7-footers into room 605 and have a discussion and a heart-to-heart talk about where your season is headed. It's interesting to hear sometimes who speaks up in those meetings. Everybody's looking towards the star player, the guy that carries the most load, but sometimes the most impressive voice and the one that has the most impact can come from some strange places, some interesting places and with interesting perspective.
Is it only relegated to bad teams, or have you been on good teams that have had players-only meetings? I've
had both, Kevin, and it's interesting when teams are having some success and call a players-only meeting, how much you get down to the details of what your season represents. If it's a bad team, we're talking about reestablishing the entire civilization of what's going on around you. But on a really good team, it could be about something very, very specific to your offense, to your defense, or your approach to the games that you want to just clear up because there are greater things at stake.
At the line for 2.
The free throw good from Moutier. And so he's able to get 1 of 2. And business, obviously, is great in the NBA. Players' salaries shooting up. Franchise values skyrocketing. In fact, Brent, I saw the other day a new study saying the average team is now worth over $1 billion. Some much more than that. You still want to own a team someday?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Can you afford that?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, Kevin. But our game is in a great place. And one of the things that makes me most proud as a former player, Kevin, is who it is that represents the NBA right now in terms of their character, in terms of their class, in terms of some of the stances that they take, even outside of the sport, getting involved in politics, getting involved in their local community. The league continues to do amazing things both on and off the court.
I would say maybe never been healthier than it is right now on all fronts. The way it's played, the name stars, the community activism, all of it.
I agree with you, Kevin.
A nice shot by Gallinari.
And right now, Gallo just on fire. Love the amount of attempts he's getting.
We've got 1:28 left in the 4th quarter. Here's Waiters. Plumlee with the rebound.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, they don't get much uglier than the quarter he's having.
Yeah, his confidence really nowhere to be found right now, and he's lost all rhythm in that jumper.
Gallinari against Johnson. Clock at 6. Goes up on the wing. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. The Heat shooting just 33%, struggling to get good looks.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Nuggets.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win. A game that not many will soon forget. And on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And with this effort tonight, grabbing their 8th win of the year.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win. A good win, and a lot went into it. But I just like the showing for Kenneth Faried.
Well, the way he battled down low was just impressive. His rebounding numbers tonight are awesome. They jump off the stat page, and they got full effort from every minute he was on the floor.
So it's the Nuggets winning this one easily. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much. Danilo, transition, big for your team. I assume that was a big focus tonight.
Yes, we want to run, and that's what we have to do every time. So that's what we did, and we played a great game.
Gallo, thanks very much. Congrats again. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. Now we'll go to the studio with the award-winning Ernie Johnson.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thanks, Kev. And now we have the opportunity to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Kenneth Faried.
Well, the work he did on the glass tonight is what set him apart. His rebounding numbers were unreal. He was doing the work of 2 players on the boards. I just love seeing this kind of grit and toughness.
This is the manimal we're talking about. Kenneth Faried comes at you strong. He put the power in power forward. This guy plays strong all the time. He works as hard as anyone in the NBA.
And that is the end of our broadcast for this evening. I sound like an old 1940s guy, don't I? That's the end of our broadcast for this evening.
Kenny, Ernie,
for Ken Smith and Shaq O'Neal.
Join me.